But enough of that. Enough shenanigans. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi. Good morning. Sorry about being late, guys. I'm so tired, chat. I'm on like a 5-year delay. I've got like 1,000 ping in my brain. And I also have to like, I've been trying to catch up on a bunch of shit and get ahead on a bunch of shit because I have, this music is a little too loud. I can't think. Because I have to end stream today and then go and immediately clean and then pack and take care of a bunch of random errands and then drive because I'm leaving town. And as soon as I come back, I have like a couple hours to finish working on a costume for Anime Expo. So I am so we're cooked, chat. We're so cooked. But that's okay. Bling the State Classic. Shirt link. Oh, I don't know. I just got it when I was thrifting, chat. This is just a pajama. I just didn't feel like changing into like stream clothes. So I just wore my pajamas today. Nice shirt, but unfortunately I think I fucked it up in the dryer or something, so I like ripped it on the pattern. But you can't really see it, and it kind of like matches the vibe of the shirt, so I don't care. Well, let's see. Maybe I can do this. There we go. But yeah. Anyways, we're totally cooked. I probably it is unlikely that I stream on Thursday or Friday. It is unlikely because I have so much shit to catch up on, and I'm going to be out of town, and then I have to come back. I'm going to stream today, and then I'm going to work for 6 hours straight, and then I'm going to drive for 3 hours. And then I'm going to be working workcation. And then as soon as I come back, I'm going to sleep and then get right back to working. So it's going to be brutal. What I'm hearing is it's possible. If anything, okay, sorry. Thursday stream is non-existent. Friday stream is possible, but unlikely. And then July, other than that, July we will have lots of streams. I'm very excited. There should be no reason we can't have lots of July streams. I don't want to miss a single day in July other than first two, potentially. But anyways, then you need a secretary or something. You know, I tried getting an assistant, but I think I need like an IRL assistant. Because I have a bunch of like random shit that I can only do IRL, so tough. But anyways, all right. Good morning, though. Everybody, I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I have a lot of random shit that I prepared for you guys. If the Denathon does not come back, we will revolt. Yeah, true. But anyways, I gotta install fucking volume meter, man. Yeah, there we go. All right. What were we saying? Oh, yes. Flanking Fred. Oh, thanks, Molly. That's so nice. Guys, I had a dream. All my dreams were stressful. They were stressful because you guys ever have dreams where you can't tell if the dream is real life, and then you keep like waking up from the dream and you can't tell if that was real, and you have to like remember. Like they're so mundane that they're stressful. I dream every night, so like at least once a week I have this fucking trash that happens to me in my life. And I had a dream that Twitch had a feature to show that you were casting a Twitch stream on a TV. And so many people were casting it, and I was like, oh, that made me so happy. And then I woke up, I was like, what? That wasn't a real feature. What the hell? So that's what my dreams are like, I guess. That's what my dreams are so mundane. Most of my dreams are so mundane. They're so boring. Or like I'm just hanging out with my friends in my dreams. And then sometimes I'm just playing video games in my dreams. Like it's like I'm just doing what I do in real life in my dreams. But they're just like a little bit more stressful sometimes. So yeah, I'm just like awake at all hours of the day doing the same shit all day, every day. Chud ass, loser ass dreams. I once had a dream I couldn't fall asleep. That's so stupid. Christ. Grinding MMO dreams. Dude, when I was really into Blade and Soul, they had an event where you could get like the obsidian gems and they were super rare at the time, and all you had to do was farm this one dungeon over and over again. But it was like a max level dungeon. It was like a shit dungeon, but they like reworked it so it was max level. And I'm not joking, for a month straight, I only did that dungeon. Like I was on any hour that I was awake, I was doing that dungeon. I was just grinding just that dungeon. I was farming for literally like, I must have farmed for hundreds of hours. Like I was just sitting in like the guild Discord waiting for people to hop in so that I could have a team that wouldn't accidentally wipe us. And every time we wiped, I was like, anytime I wiped with like pugs, I was like, oh my God, dude. How are you guys so shit? How you guys haven't done this 45 times already? Come on, grow up. Oh my God. It's like, this is going to take too long. I'll just regroup. And then I would leave and then regroup with other people because I'm like, we're going to wipe another 4 times doing this. And by then I could have like 3 shards. Like, this is stupid. So I was so addicted. I would go to sleep and I was doing the dungeon. And I would like wake up and realize I wasn't doing the dungeon in real life. So then I would get up to go do it. I would be dreaming. I'm like, I'm not even actually doing it. I need to get to my computer. It was bad. This is why when I tell you guys I can't play MMOs, this is what I mean. Okay? People be like, no, you'll like it. Yeah, that's the problem. Yes. That's the problem. I need a game that's... all the fun games need to have endings to them, all right? Oh, my God. Yeah, when you go to bed at 3 a.m. immediately after wiping constantly on a boss and then you start dreaming about it, yeah, you're like, no, I can beat this mech. I can do it. Oh, Christ. Anywho, Denims is one of those chuds that lives and breathes nothing but doing grinding all day. Yeah. Yeah. You say that's the problem, like Tucker? No. All right, anyways. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys in terms of life stuff. I do have a bunch of stuff that I prepped for today's stream, though. One, I'm sure many of you guys saw that Mamdani has officially fulfilled his promise of rent freeze. And landlords are seething online. And they're like, you know, this is going to hurt you in the long run. You know, we had a good thing. We would raise prices on you guys and you would pay. And you're just like ruining that for no reason. And I just don't understand why you're so ungrateful. So yeah, I gotta watch that with you guys. And then, do you guys see Chud the Builder had a grinder account and was a chaser? Mayor Cat. Wasn't convincing. I gotta show that to you guys. Shocking, I know, right? What a shock. What? Conservatives being hyper obsessed with trans people? No way. Fork found in kitchen? No way. Wait, Cat Black covered it? No way. Pausers. Pausers. I don't see it. Maybe it was in a different thing. But anyways, all right. And then poor landlords, imagine not getting infinite profits every year. Isn't that so sad for them? Okay. And then maybe we'll watch some Jubilee. Also, Clavicular has seemingly done a 180 on trans. Yep. I did see that as well. Is this there's no, this is fake. All right, let me close this stuff. Close, 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 close. Perfect. All right. Now we're in business. Clavicular is 100% for gender affirmation, so he should be. I know. That's what I'm saying, man. Let me show you guys 1 second. I saw this. Pausers. Oh god. And then I want to show you guys this. Sorry, this is just for you guys to enjoy. Do you feel that your dating pool is smaller because you cannot speak Mandarin well? Well? Honestly, yes. All right. Oh, I totally forgot to show you guys this yesterday. Do you guys, this is the new passport. The USA's new passport, which says, "Welcome, but be good, President Donald J. Trump, United States of America, 250." So, you guys lining up to get this shit or what? No, dude. This shit goes crazy, right? Right? No passport for me for 3 more years. Well, no, it's optional. Don't worry. New passport should just say "Welcome, Bazinga." Now, I would get that. I would totally get that. Are you kidding me? That would be so great. All right. No, not this. All right, wait. I thought I saved the clavicular thing. Did I not save it? I'm sure if I just look it up. Oh, yeah, it was like the first thing when you look up clavicular. We're good. I saw this on my feed. Clavicular just made out with a Polish trans model while in Paris at the club without knowing. He even got a hair from her mustache in his mouth. Huh? Is the hair in the room with us? So it's hard to hear, but he says, this other dude is like, she's beautiful, but, you know, and Clavicular said, it's nobody's business. Talk about it again. I'm sorry. Another thing, another bit of being based. This on top of androgenic, whatever that other guy's name is, being like, sorry for misgendering you. Sorry, my bad. I said man. And then this.
I used to be like, oh fuck, you know, fuck these people, whatever. But I just don't. I just really couldn't give a fuck. You know, I got better things to worry about.
Like in high school, a lot of like my friends and me, like you like are extra hateful just because you have nothing better to do with your time or because you think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like the moment you start like actually doing anything productive, you're just like, bro, like.
Yeah, for
they
real.
don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck, bro. Once you stop being on like the crazy parts of the internet. But don't get me wrong, I still want to be able to make jokes about protected classes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll sell out, bro.
I mean,
we'll still make darker jokes than any of you guys, you know?
I used to be like, oh.
I'm going to say something about joking around about things. Okay. Honestly, the problem, I saw this post today, a couple days ago or something. And it was so true. The problem with trying to make jokes or like even honestly disparage queer people is that most of the time the jokes in question just look exactly like the type of memes that queer people send each other. Like homophobic memes are ineffective because they're indistinguishable from what two gay people would actually send to each other. It's like one of those Borzoi dogs with like a siren on its head that's going off. And it says Slur Alert. Like I'm gonna tell you guys, having been in some group chats or private messages with people who are queer, they just be sending this shit all the time, man. They be sending this shit all the time. I guarantee you, Austin be sending these type of memes to Hassan all the time. Hassan's like, what do you think about the outfit? He sends him this gif. What do you think about the fit? He sends him this gif. Denims, I be typing it all the time, but I sent it in a Twitch chat one time and I was suspended for 30 days. No. That's fucked up. Oh. The amount of times I've nearly caught a TOS violation on a foe only to check before and see they're a black trans woman. Yep, and you're like, oh, and oh. Oh. No, when you see someone use, this is the easiest way to know whether or not someone has the pass, okay? If you see someone use the F-slur, just ask them what they play in Rivals. Because if they say Cloak and Dagger, that's they have the pass, man. You don't even need any further questions. If they play DPS, death penalty. Okay? It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay, I'm just telling you guys. I'm telling you guys the truth, man. Telling you guys the truth. What if I play Doctor Strange? Oh, I don't know. You're just an ally, I think. Denims for the death penalty confirmed? Yes. For people that I think are cringe. But not me. Alright. Let me close these things. Let me close this. Excellent. Good. Okay. So, let's talk about... Sorry, I have so many things to show you guys. All right, let's go.
I wanted to come and bring everybody a happy rent freeze cake. I know it's not yet 9 o'clock. It might be a little early for cake.
We don't care. Happy rent free.
Happy rent freeze.
Really, you don't know what that means.
That's right. So
Especially when you're on a fixed ticket. So you know I was getting out of bed to see you this morning.
Anyone who would like a slice? I am so glad to celebrate this morning with all of you because at the heart of this are tenants. And you all have helped to build this city. You've given stability to this city. It's time the city brings some stability to you. And we're so excited that
What was written on the cake? Happy rent freeze.
the Rent Guidelines Board decided to freeze the rent not just for 1 year, but for the first time in New York City history for 2 years.
What people are calling impossible, but you are showing that in the word impossible is impossible. That's what this is about.
I've lived here since 2017. It just keeps on getting more expensive, and our landlords are not coming through. So we need pressure. And we look at each other every day and we say, come on, Mundane, help us out. And so he's here. It was amazing to see him in the building with us.
I cannot tell you what this means to senior citizens. We're on a fixed income. The prices of everything has gone up. I was really very nervous because I was just signing a new lease and I couldn't believe that this is like a dream come true. And for him to come to the building where the people are, the real people who need the help in New York City, you don't know how meaningful this is.
Wormy. She wants to sit on me, but she's upset because I'm wearing shorts. She's like, I can't sit on you when you're wearing shorts. What are you, fucking crazy? Okay, Wormy, can you stop being so indecent? I put a blanket on my lap and she's like, much better, thank you. Now I can sit on a blanket, thank God. Isn't that right, Wormy? She's so happy now. You guys can't see her, but she's so happy. Meerkat doesn't really sit on me. So if you see a cat sitting on me, it's Wormy. Oh, Wormy. Oh, Wormy. Alright, enough. What were we saying? Right. So, rent freeze. Oh my God. Mutant rats have reportedly been found in sewers under major cities in the US. Researchers say they're more resilient to rat poison due to new genetic mutation. Mamdani's term was going a little too well, so they had to introduce low-level RPG enemies to New York City. Oh, Christ. Anyways, so yeah, he introduces rent freeze and people are so mad about it, dude. And like, listen, I'm going to tell you guys something, all right? When it comes to rent freeze is like, I would treat rent freeze sort of the same way that I've treated or talked about eliminating student debt. It's a band-aid solution for a bigger problem. It's still a solution that would help people in the short term, but it's a band-aid solution for the bigger problem, which is that landlords, right? So it's the same thing with like erasing student loan debt doesn't fix the fact that student loans will continue to exist because universities and colleges are so unbelievably expensive because we don't subsidize it enough. And because like schools can charge fucking $120,000 a year on the high end and like maybe $10K on the low end. And we should have more high quality city and state universities so that people don't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket to go to college, right? So, student loan removal would be a huge help for people that are struggling right now, but it's not going to be the solution to the problem that is tuition is just too damn expensive. So, it's the same thing with the rent freeze, right? Rent freeze isn't like the end all be all solution. Like a rent freeze doesn't solve the problem that is housing is a commodity and is treated as a commodity. Housing needs to be de-commodified to truly fix the housing crisis. But it is a temporary solution that will help people now. Does that make sense with everybody? I'm not sure. I feel like I always want to add that disclaimer when I talk about rent freezes because it's not a perfect solution, but it is a solution that we can implement now, today, that would actually help people today. It's just like a pause. Exactly. Correct. So I will say though, it's very funny seeing not everyone, seeing people do fucking like landlord apology. Like, what is this? New York City landlord says rent freeze will ultimately hurt tenants.
In a major victory for Mayor Mamdani, the Rent Guidelines Board approves a rent freeze for nearly 1 million rent-stabilized units. But landlords call the process a farce, telling Christina Fan renters will ultimately pay the price.
This is just cosplaying fairness. This isn't real fairness.
Jan Lee, whose family has owned this Chinatown building for nearly a century, is crying foul, accusing the Rent Guidelines Board of freezing rent despite...
Did someone get addicted to charging high prices with no labor? Oh, that's just, you guys seen the, did someone get addicted to crack meme? Huh?
Well, you know, we'll just go back to work for a little while.
Just for a little while until we have enough money to buy some more crack.
And then we'll go on welfare and I'll go be a star.
And then I can be a veterinarian of some kind.
Maybe we should think about rehab.
We should hit rehab as soon
pretty
as possible.
Soon. In a couple days.
Yeah.
Not now.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was close. Oh, look who it is. What the hell are you guys doing here?
We're getting our jobs back.
Yeah.
Can't have them. You can't have
We
them.
might have a little bit of a drug problem.
Oh, see, I might not really care.
I don't give a
your
shit.
Positions have been filled.
Yeah. So we're gonna take yours.
No, you're not gonna take our
My dad called and said that we could have your job.
We need money to pay our hookers, okay? So you can't have it. But we need money to buy crack. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get addicted to crack? Did somebody get addicted to crack? I got uncontrollable sex. I think it's a reaction.
Oh, did the landlord get addicted to stealing money from people? Oh, did someone get addicted to stealing money from the working class? Oh, grow up, bro.
Mounds of data, he says, shows rising costs for landlords.
They're not even hiding the bias anymore. The mayor had campaigned on a rent freeze. He appoints 75% of the board, and now he's got his hand on the scale.
Just hours.
They're not even hiding the bias. He's doing what he said he was gonna do. What the hell? What? I'm sorry. Did you want him to say he wasn't gonna freeze the rent? Huh? What? I'm like beyond confused. I'm beyond confused.
Before Thursday's meeting, drama unfolded when Christina Smith, a member of the board who represented landlords, resigned from her post, accusing the process of being broken and unjust. But it did little to sway the result. As the Rent Guidelines Board voted...
Imagine being like, this is so messed up to landlords. I quit. Okay. No, you're supposed to change your mind because I quit. Okay. Well, we're not going to change that, so you can just, I don't know what you want me to do. All right. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. What does rising cost for landlord even mean? They don't repair or update anything. I will tell you guys, listen, I can't speak on every state because I haven't rented in every state. But landlords in New York don't fix things. I know landlords in general don't, but I will say when I've lived in like complexes with like management, I've had better experience than like the petty tyrant landlords. In the petty tyrant landlords where it's just like one dude that owns a building, they don't fix shit. They literally don't do it. They won't. They refuse. Whereas like right now I live in like a complex that's like owned by like a company, by another company, whatever. And I can put in the stupidest request and they'll show up and fix it. Like I could be like, my dryer light isn't working. Can you guys come fix it? And they'll come fix it. And it's like, yeah, I can buy the light myself and fix it. But I pay rent, bitch. Come and fix it, god damn it. This outlet sometimes doesn't work. Can you guys come fix it? Like, I can do it myself, but why would I waste my time when I pay rent so you guys can fix it? And then they come over and they fix it. I'm like, thanks, guys. Thanks. Thank you. Hey, my toilet won't stop, like, making the flushing noise. Yeah, I can, like, figure out how to do that myself. But that's what I'm paying for. I'm paying so that I don't have to do that. So I can work on other things that I want to work on. And then they actually come and they're like, yeah, here you go. We replaced it. It's like, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks. Are you sending them a video asking like that? No, I just put in like the shittiest text request where it's like, dryer light broken. Send. And then in like 3 hours, someone comes by and they're like, you need a new dryer light? I'm like, yeah. They're like, 1 second. Yeah, we have some spare. Give me like 5 minutes. And then I wait and then they fix it and they're like, anything else? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, you're good to go. We'll close the ticket. Also, you are supposed to make small requests for maintenance. Get your air filters changed, dryer exhaust cleaned, tip your maintenance workers if you can. Can you not complain about the fire alarms? Well, no, they just do the fire alarm testing. No, I can't do that. Sorry. But anyways, it's kind of, it's dope. It's fucking dope. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy to have like management that actually does things for once. I'm like, whoa. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh my God. Imagine that. I pay for the service and then I get the service. Whoa. Isn't that insane? In New York, you could have like a missing window in winter. And the landlord's like, yeah. Okay, so I'm all booked out for the next 3 years. Have you tried duct tape? You could go to the store and buy some duct tape. How's that? How's that? Is that good for you? Because if you're gonna wait for me to do it, how about I just paint over the empty hole? Would that be okay? It won't fix that problem. Interesting. Okay, what if I bring you some duct tape and a garbage bag? Would that fix it? I'll just do that, all right? Because I'm not paying for a new window. All right. Oh, also, by the way, rent is due tomorrow. I need you to pay it early tomorrow. And I did raise it $500. Okay, cool. All right, see you tomorrow.
The one in an historic first to approve a 0% increase on both 1- and 2-year leases. Renters say the measure was necessary as they struggle to combat inflation and cuts to social services.
It's going to do so much to really affect my life in a good way.
I feel very good because in New York, that's one of the biggest problems that we have. You know, rent is high and we really needed it stabilized.
Mayor Mamdani, who campaigned on freezing the rent, insisted the board's decision would be fair and impartial. He responded to the outcome saying in part, this is the relief that working people across our city deserve. But Lee says it's renters who the freeze will ultimately hurt.
If we keep eroding one side of the equation, something's got to give, and the people in those buildings are going to suffer. So there has to be some kind of fairness and recognition of the math.
The freeze will impact
I'm a numbers guy.
more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants throughout the city and will affect leases that begin after October 1st of this year.
Who the fuck is that guy? Some random fucking landlord piece of shit.
From the Upper West Side, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
What I guess I don't understand about the landlords that are mad about this decision. Mamdani said he was going to work for the New York people. He never said he was going to work for the New York leeches. Like, why are you surprised, bro? Like, use your brain here, man, for just like 1 second. I don't know, man. Go get like a profession that isn't providing housing. As an idea? Isn't it crazy that like being a streamer or a YouTuber is more of a real job than being a landlord? I think being a landlord has to be like the fakest job. Isn't that is that kind of fun? Isn't that kind of fucking funny, dude? All right, and then, but I want to show you guys this. Do you guys see this? These fucking memes? This meme is fucking sending me. Oh wait.
Board just froze the rent. That means if you're one of the more than 2 million New Yorkers who lives in a rent-stabilized apartment, your rent's going to be frozen next year.
Good luck, everyone in New York City. And it's this stupid fucking comic this idiot made. And it says, with rent control. Oh, we don't have enough money to keep building. I guess we'll suspend the construction. Okay, first of all, how does this guy think construction for buildings works? I like the crane that just says suspended. It's not even like, they didn't even put like a fence around that says suspended. It's just like, okay. Okay. And then this one, taxes are eating up my unprofitable rental. I have to quit being a landlord. Okay, then quit. Okay, then quit. No, the landlords are quitting. That's so sad. Oh, someone please think of the landlord. And then I like this tenant. There's no availability. I guess I'm moving out. And then this one's really good. Without rent control, we can keep building if there's demand. If taxes raise, we raise rent. It's literally that simple. If you rent an office, you get 25% off. And then I like this orange circle and this purple circle, which are two people that have never existed before. I have a lot of vacant rentals, so I lowered the price. The government just cut taxes, so I lowered while keeping it profitable. This person does not exist. No landlord has ever said this, ever. I'm sorry, has somebody else ever experienced this? A landlord saying, hey, I paid a little bit less of my taxes this year, and there was less taxes on properties this year, so I'm going to be lowering the rent for you. That's literally never that's never happened. This person doesn't exist. Also, when has the government ever lowered property taxes? I mean, it's happened. I hate this Twitter meta where they post comics or images with black text on a white background and suddenly it makes them right. It's like, dude, not even Scrooge after the ghosties come to him. But if the landlords quit, who will provide the housing? One chud was overheard saying. Oh my God. Person who's never rented. Landlords would lower rent. Incredible. The only instance where rent is lowered is when, so are you guys aware of there is like a massive lawsuit against the algorithm that a lot of rental companies use. I think it's through like apartments.com or something like that. And that algorithm helps them decide maybe it's Zillow, helps them decide what price to charge to best profit maximize. So like there is like a profit maximization chart for rental properties, for everything, to be honest, where some number of vacancies is worth it because you make more money charging more for some properties than having every single unit be filled, right? Landlords build buildings. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, Chatter. Graystar, yeah, it's like an app called Cartel or some shit. It's like, I'm not going to bother pulling it up, but if someone else has the link for it, that would be cool. But there's like a massive lawsuit about this. Because it's not actually driven by true like supply and demand or by whatever the fuck this is, which is prices went down for the landlord, so they stopped charging as much. Sometimes prices will go down across the board with rent. Like I think the past year has been like a downtrend for rent, but it's not because the landlords out of the goodness of their heart were like, you know what? I can still maintain profit. I'll just lower it a little bit for you guys. That's never happened before. That's never happened. Usually it's that they will make more profit by lowering the rent a little bit to fill more vacancies. They're always profit maximizing. Is it this one? And if the profit maximization chart shows rents should go down $50 this month and landlords will continue to make more, then that's what they will do. There's no landlord that's like, am I making too much money off of my renters? I might be making too much money off them. I'm going to charge a little bit less. That's not real. RealPage's price algorithm violates antitrust laws. The Justice Department, together with Attorney Generals of North Carolina, California, Colorado, Connecticut, filed a civil antitrust lawsuit against RealPage for its unlawful scheme to decrease competition among landlords in apartment pricing to monopolize the market for commercial revenue management software that landlords use to price apartments. Basically, it's like a massive, think about like OPEC, think about like why cartels are illegal. That like if every single company is colluding with each other, you don't actually have a true free market. You just have a bunch of the providers of the good colluding with each other to make more money off of people. There's no actual competition. If the idea is that capitalism can only work with competition, now you can disagree with the premise but that's what capitalists will tell you. If there is no competition, then the only thing that's happening is that a massive cartel is working together to make sure that you are being overcharged for something you need. But let's see here. Where is it? Complaint alleges RealPage contracts with competing landlords who agree to share with RealPage non-public, completely sensitive information about their apartment rental rates and other lease terms to train and run RealPage's algorithm pricing software. The software then generates recommendations, including on apartment rental pricing and other terms, for participating landlords based on their and their rivals' competitively sensitive information. The complaint further alleges that in a free market, these landlords would otherwise be competing independently to attract renters based on pricing, discounts, concessions, lease terms, and other dimensions of apartment leasing. RealPage also uses this scheme and its substantial data trove to maintain a monopoly in the market for commercial revenue management software. There's like, let me see if I can find. RealPage acknowledged its software is aimed at maximizing prices for landlords, referring to its products as driving every possible opportunity to increase price, avoiding the race to the bottom in down markets. A rising tide raises all ships. The complaint cites internal documents and sworn testimony from RealPage and commercial landlords that make plain RealPage's and landlords' objectives to maximize rental pricing and profitability at the expense of renters. A RealPage executive explained to a landlord that using a competitor's data can help identify a situation where a landlord may have a $50 increase instead of a $10 increase for that day. Another landlord commented about RealPage's product. I always like this product because your algorithm uses proprietary data from other subscribers to suggest rents and terms. That's classic price fixing. Oh. And they talk about how like the algorithm would even suggest that they should have a particular vacancy rate that would maximize their profit. I'm trying to think of like the best way to explain this, but basically think about the way that like luxury brands make money. Luxury brands make money because even if they don't have that many people buying the product, they have a couple people buying a product that's very expensive. So it's worthwhile, right? Like let's say you have trying to think of like easy numbers to explain this, but like let's say you have 10 units, right? You have 10 apartment units that you can rent out. And you could charge, I'm just going to use numbers that don't make any sense for the purpose of easy math, but you could charge $100 for those 10 units and make $1,000 a month. Alternatively, you could charge $200 and you only need 5 people to make the same amount of money. And those other 5 units, you don't have to do any repairs on them because no one's living in them. So you would actually make more money charging $200 and having 6 people than charging $100 and having 10 people. So there's like a profit maximization chart that can run off of these algorithms and all the data that the landlords are giving it that would tell them, hey, we believe that if you set prices here, you will get this many people and this vacancy rate, and this vacancy rate will maximize your profit. You don't want your product to be available to everyone because you make more money when your product is not available to everyone. But when we're talking about something like housing, we've already run into a massive issue, which is people are making or charging prices that they know will lead to multiple units being vacant or many units being vacant, some percentage of units being vacant. So this idea that it's like, oh, we have a couple vacancies, maybe we should lower it. It's like, no, wait, what the fuck? Landlords are not doing that. Landlords are being told by this fucking algorithm that's going based off of historical data and off of all the other landlord information. Hey, actually, yeah, you want to have like a 5% vacancy rate. You want to have a 10% vacancy rate. Also, this is the behavior that monopolies exhibit in econ theory. I mean, this is such basic, like fucking, this is like econ 101. Like you have to be a fucking bot to not understand this shit, I feel like. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Like I cannot believe someone would make this comic. Like all of my politics center around making this guy suffer. Taxes are eating up my unprofitable rental. I have to quit being a landlord. Yes. 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 I saw this. Oh man. What is this? The soying out in the corner. Mamdani freezes the New York City rents. Then 300,000 lose their homes.
Millions of New York apartments now have frozen rents. Look at this.
New York, the Independent Rent Guidelines Board just froze the rent. That means if you're one of the more than 2 million New Yorkers who lives in a rent-stabilized apartment, your rent's going to be frozen next year.
From the top of a balcony to down by the stage, rent-stabilized New Yorkers erupted in celebration. For the first
bro drinking Campbell's out of a can? What the hell is he drinking?
Time ever, the Rent Guidelines Board voted to freeze rents on both 1- and 2-year leases. A historic decision that means more than 1 million New Yorkers living in rent-stabilized apartments.
Seeing a bunch of people happy that they can afford rent. This is going to be a nightmare.
Apartments won't pay $1 more in rent for the next 2 years. All but one board member voted in favor of the measure, with Mayor Zohran Mamdani calling it a historic victory for New Yorkers.
It means everything. It means that our voices were heard, finally.
Bronx tenant Ann Maiden says she can finally breathe again.
But landlords called the whole process a sham.
A sham?
Just hours before the vote, Christina Smith, a member of the board...
Bro, I'm on audio. Bro sounds like Hutch. Every time this guy makes one of these videos, he loses like a couple hair follicles until he fully transforms into Hutch.
Who represented landlords resigned from her post. accusing the panel of ignoring data because it was required to deliver a freeze. Building owners say the decision means there will be less investment in maintenance and repairs, ultimately hurting renters.
So the renters
We'll have to lay
lose.
off some of the super.
If you live in low-income housing in New York, your property is not being maintained to begin with. Like, do you know how delusional you have to be to think that, like, subsidized housing or low-income housing in New York is being maintained? Like, it doesn't matter what you multiply 0 by, it's still going to be fucking 0. You can't go lower than none. Guys, when I lived in New York, there was a giant human-sized hole in my ceiling from a leak that was not caused by me because it was above me. It was caused by, like, I guess my upstairs neighbors or whatever. And I'm not joking. It took the landlord almost a year to fix it. Okay? I had a cracked window throughout for 2 years. For 2 years. That I had to tape closed because in the winter it was fucking freezing before they fixed it. Do you guys understand? And that's not even on, we're not even talking about infestations, bro. Forget about it. Not to be a New Yorker. Like, this idea that, like, oh, so the renters are going to lose now because they're going to go from having 0 repairs to having 0 repairs. It's like, what do you think is less than 0, man? Like, what do you think is less than 0? Sorry, really quickly.
I've come to the conclusion that people like Mike from PA, Denims, and Hassan are the trolls of Twitch. They just endlessly troll and politics because they're broken people.
No, it can't be that tens of thousands of people are for candidates like Mamdani. It can't be that you're wrong. It must be everybody else. Okay, Tim Pool. Okay. No. It's got to be everybody else. It can't be me.
Only choice. It's a business. People don't get it.
I'm so proud of people my age and young people getting together and forming coalitions.
But they don't understand. This just doomed New York City's supply of apartments. There will now be less apartments for multiple reasons, and here's the biggest one.
I feel like I'm standing in a
I hate this guy's cadence. It's like you took Mr. Beast and Hutch and made something worse. Like you took Shaggy, except instead of making him a stoner, you made him, like, sober.
time capsule from the 70s. This is a one-bedroom apartment in the Bronx that rents for $811 a month.
Okay.
That's if the landlord were to actually put it up for rent. This is a rent-stabilized apartment, but look around. The landlord says there is so much work that has to be done here to bring it up to code that it doesn't make financial sense to rent it out.
The owner is deciding to lose less money by just keeping it vacant.
Chipped and peeling lead paint, an outdated bathroom, and that red carpet, far from luxurious.
It's almost like if that guy had, I don't know, maintained the property and kept it up to code, he wouldn't have to do a bunch of repairs. Like landlords are truly like the most self-victimized class. They're like, there was a tenant that lived here for a decade and I never fixed anything for them because I didn't want to pay for it. And now I have to bring it up to code? This is so messed up. So messed up. I like the idea that all of this damage happened in the course of 24 hours or something stupid.
Owner is deciding to lose.
Yeah, you guys ever just like have a classic massive fucking peeling, cracking wall that just happened? You know how long you have to not maintain a property for this to happen?
Lose less money by just keeping it vacant.
Chipped and peeling.
Do you know how long you have to not maintain a property for this to happen? And that just mysteriously appeared yesterday. That just, I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. That was just magically that I woke up. It was perfect yesterday. And then I woke up and it looked like that. That was crazy. Bruh.
Lead paint, an outdated bathroom, and that red carpet, far from luxurious.
Not exactly the red carpet people want to walk into.
Kenny Burgos is the CEO of the New York Apartment Association and advocates on behalf of landlords who own rent-stabilized apartments, like this one in Mount Eden. It's been vacant since the last tenant moved out around 2021.
And now its rent is frozen forever. So
what you're telling me, I don't know why he's screaming at us. So what you're telling me is the rent freeze had nothing to do with it being vacant. I just like, or what do we like? Who's falling for this type of stupidity, man? Oh, he didn't even want to fix it before the rent freeze, before Mamdani. It's been empty since 2021, and he didn't bother fixing it. And he's like, I can't do anything about this unit. It's almost like it has nothing to do with Mamdani's policies at all.
the laws in New York were already so bad. This place, which is pretty big, was being lived in by no one, and now that's definitely going to remain the case. But wait till you hear why.
Why is this apartment still vacant so many years later?
Because the law today says that when the tenant moves out, you still, of course, before law and after, you would have to upgrade and renovate this unit and bring it up to the current housing standard of 2026. Mm-hmm. The difference is now the law says we don't really care what.
Huh? Okay, I'm sorry. The way that he's talking about it, when he's talking about upgrade and renovate, he's talking about it like you have to bring everything to like millennial gray. The only thing that you have to do is make sure that it is habitable. So there's no infestations, that the carpets and paint have been changed probably within the past 5 or 10 years. And that there are no major like hazards for the purpose of living. That's it. You don't have to like throw in millennial gray flooring and then put in like a new kitchen countertop or anything like that. It's just bringing it up to code, which is a good thing. I'm sorry. I don't want landlords renting out units for $3,000 that are effectively hazards to live in. That's the bare minimum. You should want legislation that makes sure that your housing is habitable. You should be grateful you live in a state or a city that makes sure you aren't supposed to live in an apartment with black mold in it.
What you spend, you cannot change the rent from the previous tenants.
A 2019 change to the state's rent laws got rid of the 20% vacancy bonus, where landlords could hike rents for new tenants.
It's really a crisis.
Yeah. Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, chair of the Housing Committee, voted for that bill.
We found that with the 20% vacancy bonus, it was an incentive for landlords to harass tenants out. Finally, we righted the scales. Landlords didn't like that, and what they said immediately after we passed it was, we're going to keep apartments off the market.
But that's reality. Reality says if your $800 apartment costs $100,000 to fix up and you can only charge $800 a month for it, you're not going to dump $100,000 into a losing investment.
It's almost like if they had maintained the property in the first place, they wouldn't have to dump so much money to fix it. Also, $100,000, what, to get it repainted and change the carpet? Okay, boo-hoo, bitch. Sell it then.
It's a business.
What do you say to that?
I say, what do they then say to landlords who have already gone bankrupt, who've already been in foreclosure?
Something definitely wrong here.
The tug of...
The landlord's going bankrupt. Uh-huh. Going bankrupt as a landlord's got to be like the biggest skill issue I've ever heard in my fucking life. Holy shit.
War between landlords and tenants advocates leaves lifelong New Yorkers like Troy Williams caught in limbo.
I live in a tier 2 shelter right now, and that's why I have a voucher now, you know? And I'm really trying to, you know, get back to where I was this time 2 years ago.
So just how many rent-stabilized apartments are sitting empty with low rents that need extensive
Good
repairs?
question.
Well, we actually just got an answer from the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development. A survey found just under 2,500 units that have been vacant for a year or more, needing extensive repairs with rents below $1,000. Of course, these are units sitting empty when so many are desperate for an affordable place to live.
And that's just the units they know about. When this law passed,
There are 8 million people in New York City, by the way. Just so you guys can get an idea, there are 8 million people who live in New York, and there are about 1 million subsidized housing units in New York. Won't someone please think of the 2,500 units? Maybe they should have maintained them. Like, it's just so, I fucking hate landlords so bad. Okay, so I didn't maintain the property, and I kept rising prices on you despite not maintaining the property. But now we're both in this situation. So, what do you expect me to do? You want me to comply with the law? But I want to be a slumlord.
passed back in 2019 that capped all these rents and said no more rent increases on the stabilized apartments when somebody moves out, even if you renovate. You know what landlords started doing? If they had a stabilized apartment right here, and then next to it they had a free market apartment, when both were empty, guess what they did? They combined them and made the free market apartment much larger and jacked up the rent on the whole thing. So a lot of these apartments, when this law was passed, vanished and are never coming back. But it gets even worse because all the people celebrating, they don't understand where this is going to lead them.
It's just cosplaying fairness. This isn't real fairness.
Oh.
Jan Lee, whose family has owned this Chinatown building for nearly a century, is crying foul.
What is Blood talking about? Great question, man.
Accusing the Rent Guidelines Board of freezing rent, despite mounds of data he says shows rising costs for landlords.
They're not even hiding the bias anymore. The mayor had campaigned on a rent freeze. He appoints 75% of the board, and now he's got his hand on the scale.
Just hours before Thursday's meeting, drama.
Wow. Here's dumbest thing on the planet. Wow. Can you believe the mayor campaigned on a rent freeze and he did this? And then he actually did this. He's not even hiding the bias anymore. Wow. What are you, fucking stupid? What do you mean, wow, bitch? What's there to say wow about? What the fuck are you talking about? That was the dumbest statement on the planet. Why is this guy's room so empty? Oh, well, he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to inconvenience his landlord. So he's decided to have as little furniture as possible because he wouldn't want to scuff any of the flooring for his landlord. And he wants to minimize how much stuff he brings in. Because he doesn't want his landlord to be upset. Because you have to remember, just because you consent and I consent doesn't mean the landlord consents. All right? Okay.
Unfolded when Christina Smith, a member of the board who represented landlords, resigned from her post, accusing the process of being broken and unjust.
Which it is.
But it did little to sway the results, as the Rent Guidelines Board voted 7-1 in an historic first to approve a 0% increase on both 1- and 2-year leases.
So here's the thing you got to understand. In order for this to work, you can freeze the rents, sure. But what about freezing the taxes that the landlord pays? What about freezing the landlord's insurance, which goes up every single year? What about freezing the landlord's utility costs, which in New York are some of the highest in the entire country? Remember, these landlords, they have to pay for hot water, cold water, and heat, and all that stuff's going up. Meanwhile, rents are frozen. It does not make sense to rent these apartments out anymore. It makes...
Okay, then sell them to the state then, bitch. If you can't manage to make it profitable, it sounds like a skill issue on your part. This is the same as when people are like, how are businesses going to be able to afford paying a livable wage to their workers? Huh? Wait, okay, let me get this straight. You want business owners to pay their workers enough to live in the city they work in. Business owners can't do that. I don't know, man. Sounds like you're a pretty bad business owner then, and it's a skill issue on your part. Sounds like you shouldn't be a business owner then if you fucking suck at it so bad, man.
Sense to instead keep them off the market forever because you're losing money renting them to people.
Okay, well, guess what? If you can't make profit as a landlord, then maybe you shouldn't be a landlord then. I don't know. That's an idea.
Renters say the measure was necessary as they struggle to combat inflation and cuts to social services.
What about the landlord's inflation?
Bro is literally saying, "Won't someone please think about the landlord?" So rough.
To really affect my life in a good way.
I feel very good because in New York, that's one of the biggest problems that we have. You know, rent is high and we really needed it stabilized.
Mayor Mamdani, who campaigned on freezing the rent, insisted the board's decision would be fair and impartial.
Okay, well, he appointed every single person on the board, but check this out. The $800 apartment we saw, if the rent were to go up 2% instead of 0, it would have been a $16 a month increase, which means the people cheering are happy about saving 20 bucks. Like, this is not even enough money to get yourself a Big Mac meal at a McDonald's in New York City. You can't even do that.
Okay, so really quickly, just really fast. Do you consider that some of the units are more than $800? And if $20 is worth so little that the renters shouldn't be mad about losing it, then it should also be so little that the landlords aren't mad about not getting it. Isn't that interesting how that works? The tenants should be easily able to part with $20, but you expect the landlords to make that same sacrifice? How could you? How dare you? $20 is barely enough to even buy a Big Mac meal. It's not even like you should just part with your $20 and give it to me. I'm sorry, you expect landlords to part with $20? That's everything to them. That's everything to them, you psychopath. You crazy person. You can't have it both ways, brother.
So what are people saving? There is no savings here. On a $2,000 apartment, you're saving 40 bucks a month. Like, is that money? Yeah, it is. But that kind of money doesn't go very far in New York. Things are
So then why would it go very far for landlords?
already so expensive, already so overpriced here. This doesn't actually help, but what it does is hurt. And maybe that's why.
But if the $20 isn't going to help the tenants, why would it help the landlord?
The mayor is so excited about this.
Will ultimately hurt.
Yep.
If we keep eroding one side of the equation, something's got to give, and the
It's
people
like it's like so obviously stupid ass fucking logic, and yet like the landlord fucking bootlickers are like, no, please. The landlord needs that $20.
those buildings are going to suffer. So there has to be some kind of fairness and recognition of the math.
Landlords are always saying, like, it's wonderful, I know, we want to have decent rent, but at the same time, landlords are like, we also have to maintain the building, and we have taxes, and we have all that other stuff. So there are two sides to this story.
Famously, human beings don't have any costs associated with being alive except rent. You know, landlords have all this other stuff they have to pay for. They have to pay for maintaining, which they won't do. They have to pay for taxes. They have to pay for water and electricity, which they'll offload to you. They have to pay for all this other stuff. But you as a human being, you have no other costs. So can't you be a little bit more empathetic? It's not like you have to buy food. It's not like you have to go to the doctor. It's not like there's any costs with being alive in society. So couldn't you be a little bit more generous to the landlords? Think about all of the costs that they have to pay. Did you even consider that? Did you fucking consider that for a moment?
Absolutely.
Building's
There's
gonna
definitely
collapse.
a very valid discussion that's happening in New York City, which is, can landlords absorb this rent freeze for 2 years or even longer? And there's going to have to be some compromises that are made behind the scenes on how landlords...
Yo, I got to compromise. What about like Vienna-style public housing? Oh, it's not profitable for you to rent out your unit? It would be such a shame if like the state created Vienna-style housing with your units instead. Wouldn't that be so messed up if that happened instead? Oh my goodness. Jeez. Ah, darn it. Wouldn't that be so terrible?
Are going to maintain those costs.
Okay.
Yeah,
How do renters
compromises.
know if they live
That
in
means
a stabilized
firing
apartment?
people.
This is no longer just a city that is a playground for the rich. This is a city for the working people who make it run, and we are making it run for us.
But the rent's still too high for most people, and it's now gonna, it's frozen. It's gonna stay that way.
Struggling to figure out how we're gonna.
What? Dude, none of all of this guy's arguments make no sense. Well, it's still really high. So why would freezing it help? What, so you think we should lower the prices? I don't think you're for that either. What?
Make ends meet.
Yeah.
For years, landlords have run this city, and this is like a new era of tenant power. We have a rent-freeze
Tenant
mayor.
power.
Hundreds of people came out
A
and testified,
rent-freeze mayor.
thousands online. Like, landlords' days are over.
Bro is not even saying anything. He's just buzzword. Rent freeze power. Tenants' rights. Rent freeze mayor.
Tenants are in power now.
Landlords'
and
days are over.
It feels amazing.
Landlords who say they are struggling with rising costs like fuel and insurance, though, lambasting the decision.
Listen to this.
The whole process is such a farce. We're gonna have to cut back. We'll have to lay off people. We'll have to lay off some.
Who are you laying off? The workers you didn't hire to not fix the fucking radiator that's been broken for a year? Bro, I had a landlord once that would turn the heater off in winter. I had to call in the middle of the night to be like, hey, you turned the heater off again and I'm freezing to death. And I got so tired of doing that, I bought a space heater.
The supers. Only choice. It's a business. People don't get it. This is a business. It's not a choice that you think this is for free.
So, rents just got frozen, so people who already have an $800 apartment can always have an $800 apartment instead of an $810 apartment next year. And what that means is the person who cleans the building just got fired. Because you know what? There's not enough money around to...
The person who cleans the apartment. Bro's never been in a subsidized building in his life. Oh my god. No. I think who he's trying to describe is like you know, like the stairs in a unit. Or like the elevator potentially in a unit, like who's cleaning those areas, and it's like, bro, you've never been in a subsidized unit in your life if you think those are being fucking cleaned, man. There are literally, I'm not joking. There's a building that I lived in where like there were literal cobwebs in every location of the building. People lived in that building. And there were, like, it literally looked like a haunted house. And the only place where there weren't cobwebs was the places that got frequent foot traffic. Yeah, bro, they're cleaning the building. Yeah, bro, they're cleaning it. As long as you just ignore the literal cobwebs everywhere. His point is that those $40 are going to be used to pay the cleaners and taxes, etc. Keck W.
pay him anymore. Now the building stinks. Now it's gonna start falling apart. What a disaster.
Freezing. Your rent.
Mayor Mamdani made it a
Hey, newsflash, asshole. They already are.
signature issue in his campaign, then followed through on his pledge to appoint half a dozen members of the 9-member board.
What is bro drinking? It literally looks like he's drinking like a Red Bull shaped thing of like SpaghettiOs.
Buildings with rent-stabilized apartments saw their revenue
So he
increase by
appointed
more than
everyone on the
6%
board.
last year.
But while the outcome seemed like a foregone conclusion, it did not come without drama.
It was rigged.
This morning, Christina Smith, a
can't
board
tell.
member appointed to represent landlords, abruptly resigned, claiming
Yeah.
the mayor stacked the deck. The mayor, for his part, in a statement tonight, calling it a historic victory for tenants, adding, "This is the relief that working people across our city deserve."
Except for the working people who used to work on the buildings and now can't because they just lost their jobs. And look, as somebody that used to live in a rent-stabilized apartment in New York City, in the exact same neighborhood where the mayor of New York himself used to live a story area, Queens, I can tell you that having one of these apartments, it might sound good at first, but it's actually a trap. It totally messes up your ability to stay upwardly mobile in New York, because if you get into one of these places, my rent at the time was $1,800 a month. We got in, the increases were minimal, but when it came time for us to move into something else, all of the other rents had gone up astronomically outside of this stabilized place. So in order to jump to a bigger apartment, to an actual 2-bedroom, because our family was growing, we had to pay double the rent. We were not prepared for that.
That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. You literally have serf mentality. You're literally saying we didn't suffer enough, so we were not prepared for the transition out of subsidized units. You're actually a fucking moron if you think this. You are a literal peasant. My lord, please, the peasants don't know. They should be paying more. More for you. Like, you are a fucking... You literally are surf-brained. You're so fucking surf-brained. That's incredible. I like how he didn't see it as like an opportunity to be grateful that he was allowed to save so much money before they had to swap or get out of rent stabilized housing. They saw it as like, well, we weren't right for the trend, but we were, you know, we weren't prepared for that transition to pay more than twice as much. That was just like a big transition for us.
And it was a massive shock. In fact, the rent was more than double. It was $4,500 a month for the 2-bedroom we found after paying $1,800 a month. So people get trapped in these things and they can't move. And now, yes, the rents are frozen on these apartments, but here's what that's gonna do. That's gonna mean that the people who have them have even less of a reason to move. And if people aren't moving out of the places where they live, new people who do not have an apartment yet cannot move in to New York City. And when you have zero turnover,
if they can't afford more, where else would they move? This has to be a LARP, man. No one is this stupid.
the rent on the tiny number of apartments that still exist is just gonna go through the roof. It's gonna go higher and higher. New York City is already breaking records for how high the rents are here on these market rate apartments. And if people can't find a place to live because nobody's willing to move out and no one has the ability to be upwardly mobile, that is essentially a tax.
Does he think that when you have to start paying more in rent, you just magically like grind hard enough to find a job that pays you more? Like, I feel like like you're a YouTuber, bro. Are you like fucking stupid or something? Most people don't have a lot of mobility in their jobs. Just because you have that ability and that luxury because you're a fucking online creator, online content creator, doesn't mean that's everybody else, you fucking piece of shit. Because online content creation, it really is like the amount of time you put into your work can lead to an increase in the amount of money that you make. So this is like something I talk about with content where like, it does feel like you should be spending every second of every day working because there is so much potential upward mobility. But that's not the reality for most people in their jobs. Most jobs, there is like very little upward mobility. If you work as like a line cook, there's not really that much more. Maybe you could like get a job at a slightly better kitchen, maybe. The reality is it's more like you just pick up more shift and you're more tired, but there is not like, there's no upward mobility. It's just you're putting in more hours at the same rate of pay before that. And then there are some jobs where there is no overtime. What, you want people to like work 3 jobs so that they're on their grind set? Like, it's just so fucking stupid. It's just so fucking dumb.
On people that live in New York City, a hidden tax. Because if you want to leave, you're going to have to pay double the amount of rent. People cannot afford that. When it's time to move out or when it's time to get a bigger place, people either have to vanish or forego.
Vanish? People have to vanish.
Opportunities in life just to stay in a place that was built hundreds of years ago.
What opportunities are people foregoing? What the fuck is he talking about?
And is falling apart. What a nightmare. And what this basically means is the only way to stay in New York City now is to get a rent stabilized apartment and to literally do nothing other than live there. Don't move in with other.
Famously, when you get an apartment, you're constantly thinking about what else you need to be doing and not just living there. I don't know about you guys, man. When I get an apartment, I'm ideally, I'd like to stay there for as long as I'd like. That's generally how I pick apartments. I pick apartments based on like, do I like it? Do I like the unit? Do I like the space? And ideally, I'd like to live here for as long as I'd like. I don't want to be constantly moving. Bro is literally just saying words to try and fearmonger rent freezing. And like the thing that's annoying is none of these fucking libered up fuckheads ever think about the fact that like they can just make the argument. And I'm sure Gary's Economics has like a really good video on this, or if he hasn't made one, he will make one soon, that rent freezes are band-aid solutions the way that like student loan forgiveness is a band-aid solution. It doesn't fix the inherent problem that is tuition is too expensive. It fixes the problem that is people are in debt, in tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt because they wanted to get higher education. It's a temporary fix for a greater problem that will help people in the now. So there needs to be more long-term solutions, but it is a temporary solution that will help people in the now. So it's the same thing with rent freezing. When you freeze rent, you're not fixing the greater problem that is rent is just too expensive. And we need to de-commodify housing to make rent less expensive. Or provide more public housing, more Vienna-style public housing. But it will help people today, right now, and it's something we can do right now. But none of these people ever make this argument. They're like, you don't want rent freezing because what happens when you freeze the rent is that you get used to paying a normal price for housing. And then when you want to move, it's really expensive. Like, that's the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my fucking life. Hello, Wormy.
People don't get married, don't have a family, don't have a bunch of kids because you're not going to be able to fit.
The Democrats have a problem on their hands now that, Obama and Mamdani, they're true leaders, and neither of them can run for president in 28.
Well, Mamdani was here, as you know, twice. And he's a very nice guy. He's a charming guy, good-looking guy. We talk, but you can't raise taxes on people when you force them to leave your state or your city, and they're leaving and they're going to Florida. Most of them are going down to Palm Beach and Miami.
And that's the other end of this that nobody's talking about. So you've got these frozen rents. Yes, if you can get an apartment with frozen rent, you might be sitting pretty until the building you're sitting in ends up collapsing around you and you have to move out and you become homeless anyways. But the few people who end up earning enough money to move out of that apartment and pay much more for something else, if their life expands, well, they're gonna get hit extra hard by all of the new taxes that are coming, which means they're gonna have to move out, or they're gonna have to stay and pay exorbitant amounts of money to live in a city that essentially hates them and doesn't want to see people being upwardly mobile. And this is a massive problem because this frozen...
I don't know why this guy thinks that if you suddenly have to pay more in rent, your income would magically go up and you would suddenly become more upwardly mobile. The opposite is true. When you're less stressed about how you're going to be able to pay your rent, you're more capable of taking time to go look for more jobs. Maybe get a really nice suit for a particular interview. Maybe have more time to go outside and make more new connections so that you can get a connect to a new job. Like literally the exact opposite is true. That the more excess money and income that you have, the more time and energy you would have to being able to upwardly move, or like move upward mobility in the economic sense. Yeah, whereas like, yeah, his idea seems to be like, We should raise the rent floor to make the rent ceiling not seem as high. What? Yeah, pay your fair share equals we hate you. It's so dumb. I just can't. Also, Mayor Exam, I saw you asking about the comment section. I just wanted to finish the video first.
Rent could really hurt the job market in New York City in ways that nobody's talking about either, because let's say that there are very few available apartments. Well, how do you expand your business in New York City? How does a company like JP Morgan bring in a whole bunch of people and build a new office and bring in a ton of jobs? You can't do that because there aren't places for people to live. And
there already aren't places for people to live.
Every single time buildings get built in New York right now, because rents are so expensive, most of the places that get built, what are they? They're one bedrooms, they're studio apartments. You might find a couple of 2 bedrooms. It was very hard for us to find the 3-bedroom apartment that we just moved out of because there are so few of these. And nobody wants to admit that what that means is if you have only studios and 1-bedroom apartments, and those are the entry-level apartments that are on the market that people can move into for $3,000, $4,000 a month, it's either that or it's a bedroom somewhere where you have a roommate. What that means is the only people that can come into New York and even get established or start doing that are people who have no other entanglements. These are gonna be single people, people who most likely just graduated college, people who are starting out in the workforce potentially. That means that if you start your company in New York or you wanna expand your business in New York, you can really only expand entry-level positions. It's gonna be a lot harder to bring in people who have talent and are already successful because perhaps those people have more entanglements in life. Perhaps they have a bunch of kids. Perhaps they have a big...
Does he know that this is just how New York has always been? He's just explaining how the city New York City has been for forever is going to be that way. Like, what the huh? Also, the fact that he's paying $4,500 for this place is an insane steal. I don't know what, like, neighborhood, like, if it's in one of the 5 boroughs, that's a steal for this place. If he's like near public transportation, that's actually really good. He has like a giant fucking patio. Didn't he say a story? No, he said he used to live there at like a 2-bedroom or whatever. Is he a grifter just as dumb as Nick Shirley? Okay, listen. I've never heard of this guy before today. But no one is as dumb as Nick Shirley, man. Come on, that's like... Listen, I like to be a little mean sometimes, but no one is that dumb. Like, that's kind of mean. That's too mean, man. All right? Stop.
Shut up, socialist.
At worst, I would compare him to, like, Aiden Ross, all right? Guys, look. Look at my worm. You ever provide, like, a little neck rest for your cat? Hi, Wormy. Why is she looking at me? C-Mog, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Master of the Beast, thank you so much for the 16 months. Hammond Fist, thank you for the 20 gift subs. People. Wormy. Ah! Ah! Wormy. You want to say something? Something to say? Something to say, Wormy? You have something to tell people? Meh. Isn't she so demure? She's like, ooh, I want to sit on you, but you keep bothering me when I'm sitting on you. You keep bothering me and it bothers me? Very thoughtful. Time of gifts, thank you for the 5 gifts up. Socialism for barbarism, thank you for the 10 gifts up. Super, thank you for the gifts up. Luna, thank you for the 11 months. Fantastic, thank you for the 9 months. Nucleon, thank you for the 2 months. Hammerfist, thank you again for the 20 gift subs. Serial, thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. What the heck? Thank you. Thanks, guys. Golden Capitrain, let's go. You get 1 emote for 24 hours. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I'm thinking this will be big. Yeah, I'm thinking this will be big. What is that voice clip?
Socialist.
Oh, you know. It's the fun little voice clip. Oh, you know, just a fun little voice clip that I've got prepped for you guys. All right, let's finish this fucking video.
big family. Perhaps they want to have more than just a shoebox somewhere, and shoeboxes are all that's available. It's going to be hard to attract top talent. Entry-level talent, yes, but top talent, no. And that's going to mean that companies that really want to do something and really want to accomplish something and want to pay people lots of money to come here, well, they're not going to be able to do that in New York because there's going to be nowhere for those people to live. It's not like we're going to have a whole bunch of rent-stabilized apartments popping up. Now, if anything, we're going to have even...
Yeah, famously, New York City has always struggled to get top talent.
Fewer of them, and nobody wants to admit that what this just did was basically...
It's funny that even, like, this guy is obviously very capitalist brain, but I guess he just, like, doesn't understand economics enough to even understand that within his own ideological system or economic system, what he's saying doesn't make sense. If he's arguing that, like, there will be less supply of housing because of the rent freeze, that means that the price will go up, which means that the only people that would be able to afford that housing would be high top talent that could afford it. Those are the only people that would be. So if anything, companies are going to struggle more to have low-level talent because there's going to be such an there will be fewer and fewer of that talent because those people will be driven out of the city for a lack of affordable housing. Like, literally within his own economic system, he doesn't understand the people that would exist in his own economic system that would drive top talent towards New York and everybody else out of New York. If anything, the entry-level people would be commuting into the city because they can't afford to live in the city. Yeah, they would all be living in Jersey. It's like, it's just like, I don't even know how you could be this stupid, man. CMOC. They should be. Axel, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. CMOC, thank you for the gift sub. Sumatra, thank you for the gift sub. The 5 gift subs. Duke, thank you for the gift sub. France, thank you so much for the 38 months. Frau, thank you for the 11 months. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Give 2 million people a handout at the expense of everybody else who lives in this city. How is this any different than vote buying? If you're the mayor and you tell 2 million people that they're not going to get a rent increase if they elect you, why would they vote for somebody who doesn't tell them that? The only way that somebody in the...
Actually,
They should be kissing Denims' feet.
if you're a politician and you run on policies and then you deliver those policies, you're literally vote buying. I am very smart. Are you fucking stupid? That's not vote buying, you fucking idiot. That's just policy. If you say you're going to do policy and then you promise to do that policy and then you deliver on the policy, that's just politics. Bro's like never heard of like a politician actually following through and is like, this has got to be illegal because no one else has ever done this. It's got to be some illegal shit. This is fucked up. You mean to tell me politicians can say they're going to deliver policies and then actually deliver them? What the fuck? Explain to me how that's supposed to work. Just explain it to me. Huh? We could think of the 5 gifts.
mayoral election that brought the city Mayor Mamdani could have won would be to out Mamdani. Mamdani wants to freeze your rent? It's already too high. If you elect me, I won't freeze it. I'll bring it down. I'll pay you to live in this city, which is the only fair way to do this because this city's been stealing from you. These landlords are...
Can you stop talking like that? Bro, stop, man.
Stealing from you, freezing the rent. That just means they're gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna bring it down. Only problem is that attitude would have got somebody elected who might be even worse. This is crazy. New York's housing situation is just gonna get worse after this rent freeze. And here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have people that have frozen rent, and for a few years before the building they're living in collapses, they're gonna say, you know what, this is great. Mayor Mamdani, he froze my rent. Saved me all kinds of money. But then you're gonna have people that don't live in a rent-stabilized apartment. These are gonna be people that live in a free market apartment, and they're gonna say, hey, what about us? Hey, Mr. Mayor Mamdani, what about us? We want a rent freeze too. And then the skids will be greased for the city council to introduce city-wide rent control, freezing the rent for all apartments in New York.
Most base thing ever. Is this you? Is this you?
New York City. You see, that's what's next on the table here. City.
Is that a promise? Denims, you forgot to wear a suit. Everyone knows you want to be a political commentator. You got to suit up. Oh. But I'm only one suit, Denims. I need to get more suits first.
Wide frozen rent. 0 rent increases for anyone. And then wait till you see what a disaster we got.
Why don't you freeze these nuts in
on
your
our
chin, bro?
hands here. Thank you for watching. See you in the next
Are
video.
gone, people.
That guy's marbles are fucking gone, bro. Bro, I just know I could whoop that guy's ass in Rainbow Six. And I don't even play that game. Ryu, thank you so much for the 23 gift subs. Thanks. Thank you. God, dude. Watch his uploads. The only one under 100k is the one criticizing Trump for Ukraine. What are the comments? It's not good, guys. It's a lot of human cattle. Mamdani is only freezing rents so he can confiscate buildings. Most base thing ever. Is this you? These young people are absolutely ignorant as to economics and human nature. I like how the video literally showed multiple old people. Multiple older people who live in New York. And these young people. I guess I missed the 7-year-old dude that was a young person. All right, whatever. Young at heart, I suppose. I wonder how much they will cheer when their lease isn't renewed. What is up with New York? It sure seems it's a magnet for stupidity. Dumbest person in the room is always the one to talk about how everyone else is a fucking idiot. They will jump up and down until they call for maintenance and no one comes. Maintenance isn't coming, you stupid slut! Oh my god, dude. That's already happening. This is giving the same energy as, well, I guess we'll see who shows up 2 hours later to shoot your dog when you call 911. I guess we'll see what'll happen. I bet you'll feel defund the police. I bet you'll feel really stupid when the cops show up 2 hours late because someone stole something or broke into your apartment and then they kill your dog in front of you. I bet you'll feel really fucking stupid then, won't you? Oh my god. When they get evicted and they get put on a 500,000 person waiting list, they will only begin to understand what they have done. Famously, there are no pre-existing waiting lists in New York already. There are literally people that have been waiting for vouchers for 10 years in New York. That's amazing. Who are we kidding? They're just setting up the property owners to try and seize the property. That's obvious. This is to force the owners to not be able to keep up the buildings so he can seize them. Okay, and that's not what's happening, but if that was what was happening in these people's brains. Okay, based and. All right, and. They're already not upkeeping the buildings. I don't know what to say. What? How many times do we have to go over this same point? How many times I got to teach you this lesson, old man? The landlords are not fixing the properties to begin with. That's why we're in this problem in the first place. It should never, ever, 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 ever have been legal for a mayor to appoint members to the rental board. That is Class A corruption right there. Shouldn't have allowed people to not pay rent during COVID. That was wild. So many landlords were out monthly income. And then the country was shocked when they needed to raise rent when they finally were able to collect again. Have they considered getting an income by having a real job? And that's coming from a streamer. I have the fakest job. And somehow more of a real job than being a landlord. I still have to wake up at 7 a.m. 4 days a week. Now, I just have to be cringe on the internet. But at least I'm pretending to have a job. As a landlord, you don't even have a fucking job. What the fuck? Literally vomiting the video talking points. It's bots and chuds. I like your purple hair. Thanks. Some of the purple is fading, which is making me sad. Making me very sad inside. God, I like the fanfic they're writing. Let them cheer to their doom. Some people have to figure it out the hard way. Hey, New York voted for this. Bye-bye, New York. I like this pearl clutching. So many idiots. It's disturbing. Mamdani already said he would be seizing all New York City properties. Step 1 complete. When did he say that? He said if you refuse to fix habitability problems as a landlord, your unit will be seized. Which was already policy in New York, by the way, before Mamdani. Because, hey, I don't know, if you have like termites and black mold and roaches and a leaky roof or any of those things in your unit and you're refusing to fix them, as a landlord, there is no good faith effort to fix them as a landlord. You shouldn't be renting properties out. And by the way, like for anyone who's looked into like tenant protections in most states, honestly, they're pretty generous to landlords. First of all, landlords are only required to fix it if they're made aware of it or they had reason to believe it. So their timer only starts when you inform them. And we assume that they don't know because they don't live in your unit, right? So, and most states, I think New York and California or LA have a 30-day period of time to make a good faith effort to remedy the problem. So if they try and fix it and they go in and do a bunch of stuff, but the problem persists, like it's fine because they're making a good faith effort so long as they show that they were making a good faith effort. So it's a pretty generous system. You just have to like try as a landlord. That's it. You just have to try. And then show proof of trying. Like show that like, well, I'm sorry, like the vendor I was communicating with informed me, here is the email showing that they said there was no more black mold. So when the tenant showed me 2 weeks later that there was more mold, that's not my fault. I was under the assumption, based on the vendor that I had contracted, that the problem was no longer a problem. So now that I know that there is another problem, okay, I will make another good faith effort to remedy this problem. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. But man, Jesus Christ. It's so incredible. It's so incredible. Blaming, like, renters. Blaming renters for, like, wanting to be able to afford housing is incredible. Imagine any other worker approaching their job like a landlord approaches theirs. Yeah. One sec.
And unlivable conditions have forced
Average New York landlord, by the way. I don't even care if this person is from New York, by the way. This is the average New York landlord.
another family out of their Cedar Rapids home tonight. They blame the landlord, whom they call a slumlord. An 9/9 investigation tonight found that landlord is facing thousands of dollars in fines and even potential criminal charges over the state of her properties.
In the meantime, this is upending people's lives and leaving others feeling helpless. And KCRG TV9's Lacey Reeves reports on our I-9 investigation into that landlord.
That landlord's name is Bridget Toingar. Last week, we showed you these apartments on a Aussie Lane. The city of Cedar Rapids declared them uninhabitable, citing issues with the sewer. People living there had to move out. Today, that happened to another one of her rental properties. Sewer issues forced the city to declare this home uninhabitable. And this is just part of the pattern. We dug through inspection reports and court records and found Toingar has 10 properties in violation of city codes and a history of ignoring orders from both the city and judges to fix them.
Master manipulator.
That's how the woman who lived in this Cedar Rapids home describes her landlord, Bridget Toingar. She blames her for having to find a new place to live.
My heart dropped.
She asked us to hide her identity, but showed us what she's been living with for months. Clogged pipes and sewage standing in the basement.
But I still go down there and choose to clean up that mess. I have to close the vents in the house because if you turn on the heat or even the air, you smell all of that come up. So I have to close the vents.
Through a records request, KCRG obtained an inspection report the city made in March, giving the landlord 7 days to fix the plumbing. The property manager said they did not have the money to fix it. They didn't, which meant the family here now has to move out.
Then I was like, I have nowhere to go. What am I going to do?
The family hasn't found a new place to live and wants to see Toingar be held accountable.
I believe she should properly place everyone that she has destroyed because these are people lively. They was willing to live in that and give her a chance to fix the problem, and she did not.
But this isn't Toingar's only property violating city code. Similar sewer issues forced several families out of their apartments on AOC Lane last week. Last year, the city of...
Is it not crazy that, like, you are not owed that money back from the landlord? Like, you pay whatever amount of money that you pay in rent, at least in part, to have a habitable place. They are going to profit off of you, and you're accepting that arrangement. Should you not get your money back? You're not paying to live in a slumlord fucking location. You're paying, or like in a slum, you're paying to live in a habitable location. They didn't fucking hold up their end of the bargain. Why are you not capable of like getting your rent money back? Why would Mamdani's rent freeze in New York do this to Iowa? Has anyone asked that question yet? Because I was just told that landlords are the best people ever and they always repair things and they're amazing and they should be treated with kindness and respect. Well, this guy has 10 units. He owns and rents out 10 units, but doesn't have enough money to fix any of them. Doesn't have enough money, even though they pay rent every month.
Cedar Rapids even took Toingar to court for another of the buildings on AOC Lane on separate issues. The judge fined Toingar more than $2,000 and ordered repairs be made by March 7th. An inspection shows the violations are still not fixed, with a court date now in June. In all, KCRG obtained city inspections showing 10 properties in violation of city code, owned by 3 different LLCs, all registered to Toingar. 7 of them are residential, 3 are commercial, like the strip mall in Northwest Cedar Rapids.
I would use the words deceptive.
Mike Holder owns Pet's Playhouse here. It's one space the city found multiple code violations dating back to 2023, including sanitation issues, graffiti, and peeling paint. Holder said,
Bro literally owns multiple strip malls, but somehow doesn't have the money to fix these things. Like, then why don't you sell one of them, huh?
as the lack of maintenance has cost him over $1,000.
We had roof water leak into this tank and it killed everything in this tank. So we had to start everything over and we lost all that inventory of that fish.
The city sued Toingar to fix the problems. Toingar never showed up, so the judge ruled in favor of the city, fined Toingar $3,700, and ordered her to make repairs by June of 2024. Toingar again failed to show up to court in February and now has a summons to appear later this month. Holder fears his store could be the next of Toingar's properties to be shut down.
This is my business. I have all my money stuck into this thing, and to have somebody come in outside because of someone else's neglect saying, hey, I could shut your business down, that's hard.
If you're going to own a piece of property, you have to accept the responsibility that's associated with maintaining that property. That's not been happening.
This is another of Toingar's properties violating city code. We showed you last summer how this mysterious tower is irritating neighbors. The city has ordered her to take it down. It's still there, with the court hearing scheduled for later.
What the fuck is that?
This month.
We are trying to force her hand in the court of law.
Kevin Ciabatti with the City of Cedar Rapids Building Services says it is working to enforce city code with every tool available. Toingar currently owes more than $20,000 in court fines. She could face.
I feel like we kind of glossed over the mysterious obelisk. Girl is playing RimWorld Anomaly DLC and we're just fine with it?
Criminal charges if she continues to skip court dates and ignore judges' orders. But her 3 companies are still able to operate in the city, for now. Is there any way that she can be removed from that landlord list?
They're not going to talk about it again. I'm sorry, what the fuck is that?
Last summer, how this mysterious tower is irritating neighbors. The city is
Soyos Environment Clean Engine. That's the most suspicious label I've ever seen in my life.
ordered her to take it down.
+3 landlord tower of control. It allows her to charge more rent and own more properties. You have to build one of those first before you're allowed to own more properties. Okay. I like how they just are like, the tenants really didn't like this mysterious tower that was put up that's been giving them nightmares ever since it was erected. They've been having visions for 24 hours a day, when they're awake, when they're asleep, and it persists even if they leave to work. And still, she refuses to show up to court. Like, hello? The landlord pylon is crazy, dude. I feel like we're glossing over this.
It's still there, with the court hearing scheduled for later this month.
We are trying to force her hand in the court of law.
Kevin Ciabatti with the City of Cedar Rapids Building Services says it is working to enforce city code with every tool available. Toingar currently owes more than $20,000 in court fines. She could face criminal charges if she continues to skip court dates and ignore judges' orders. But her 3 companies are still able to operate in the city, for now. Is there any way that she can be removed from that landlord list?
We are looking into that, to whether or not this would be a situation where we would pursue that. However, I want to be very clear that when you remove somebody from that rental business permit, it applies to all their properties. So for example, if there are properties that are in compliance or individuals living in those individual units that have no reason other than to be removed, it would be very difficult for us to take action in a situation like that, remove somebody from a property that's totally in compliance.
Kevin, is Bridget Toingar a slumlord?
I'm not going to answer. I won't answer that question.
But that's exactly what several people who were kicked out of her properties called her.
Birchwall, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders.
Is that what you would call Bridget?
I would call Bridget, the call of that, I honestly would be thinking that they'd probably be giving her a compliment. If I called her a slumlord. If I called her a slumlord, I think I'd be giving her a compliment.
I did get a hold of Bridget Toingar on the phone today. I asked her if she took responsibility for the violations in all of her properties. She told me no and directed me to the property manager. That property manager declined to talk with us. In the studio, Lacey Reeves, KCRG TV9 News.
Okay, that was quite the, first of all, no Omegalol, but second, that was quite the up and down there, man. I'm gonna be honest. That could be the next Lego drama. There's a hilarious YouTube video about the mysterious machine. I kind of like not knowing. I googled what it was. Would you believe it lights up at night? That's amazing. I would be surprised if it didn't. Yeah. It doesn't do anything, by the way. Yeah, that's what you think, idiot. Yeah. What if they're just pretending like it does things that it doesn't do to hide what it actually does? Bet you guys feel real stupid now. Bet you guys would feel really stupid now. If I said that, yeah. On the final topic on landlords really fast, this shit was... this shit was insane. Ben Shapiro saying how it starts versus how it ends. And it's Mamdani with the happy rent freeze cake. And then it's I forget, this is like in reference to, I'm pretty sure landlords specifically committing arson to cash in on insurance policies that were super inflated, by the way. Landlords need to make more and more money every year, or they would burn your home to the ground. Does not make me sympathetic to them. Is this supposed to make me feel like I should help or care about landlords? Because this just makes me dislike them more. For those who don't know, about 1970s, gigantic percentage of all housing stock in South Bronx was burned to the ground by landlords who made money off insurance than the rent. So first of all, how would this even apply to rent control? Second, you're just going to admit that landlords frequently commit fraud for their financial benefit. Okay. What, like, I don't like, where am I supposed to change my mind here? All right, man. You know what, man? Whatever you say. You know what? Whatever you say. Sure. Ben just thinks doubling down is the only way. Is the only way because the same way he treats defending Israel. Yeah. All right, and then my God. That was something totally different. I wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know how many of you guys saw JD Vance went on Bill Maher's show. And I think this caption is pretty good. This isn't really Sunday Funday, but I guess it's Sunday suffering. Bill Maher will be like, it's destroying the fabric of our country that your side can't ever concede defeat. And JD Vance is like, LOL, yeah, but we're not going to stop. And then Bill's like, LOL, okay, we'll just move on, you rascal. Let's watch.
And he'd be a little too exciting for me anyway. So it's either going to be you or Rubio. Here's my deal breaker for your side. Okay. Under Trump, you guys have two outcomes that an election can be. Either we win or they cheated. That shit has to stop. And the person who... And that means the person who has...
Libers! Oh my God, yes! Soy! Get him, Bill Maher! Yes!
To stop it would be you or Marco. Can you tell me you will do that? Will you bring us back to the middle, at least on that, where we concede elections, where it's not either one of those two options?
Okay, Bill, so this is where I'm probably going to lose you here, but here's...
That happened about 8 minutes ago.
Oh, shucks. That is so funny. You get it? LMFAO, am I right? Raffle, am I right?
Look, I don't think that we should not concede elections, but I don't think that's what's going on. I think that if you go back to the president's core argument, he was making an argument about problems that existed in 2020. And here's the problem that I'm most focused on. The president and I have talked a lot about this, and I think we share a perspective here, but set to the side the stuff that really gets you and your audience very angry about whether the count was legitimate in Georgia or Pennsylvania or any of these other states. Is it true that large technology companies some of whom have financial interests that exist outside the United States of America, were they censoring information in the run-up to an election? And set to the side the stuff, again, the Georgia stuff, but
that was litigated. Dominion, the Fox News paid us.
I'm trying to make the more middle ground argument here. The biggest criticism I had of the 2020 election is that you had technology companies that were quite literally censoring negative information about the left and promoting negative information about the right. So in a fundamental sense, like if the First Amendment says that we have a free and open debate and then the American people judge based on that free and open debate, the sense in which I think the election in 2020 was rigged, I'm sorry, is that you had technology companies that were putting their thumb on the scale in a way that completely obliterated the real.
But Donald Trump's own Department of Justice found it to be the most secure election. But Dominion literally won the lawsuit and Fox had to pay out billions of dollars.
Open exchange of ideas. Now, by the way, it didn't happen in 2024, but it happened in 2020 and it was a problem.
Well, you're going to get a big pat on the back when you go back to the White House. All right.
Okay. I'm glad you really like stood on business there, Bill. You were like, it's enough of your side doing this. Stop it. You need to stop it. And he's just like, no. He's like, well, what can you do? Well, I made the most compelling argument I could make. So I guess, that's all I can say. As long as you're not one of those Muslims, As long as you're not one of the fucking Arabs, then we can get along. But, thank goodness. All right. Is this not pretty depressing, by the way, guys? Reality 100 years ago, 9 Democrat, 6 Republican. Reality today, Democrat. Let's bomb the Middle East, Republican, 4. Is this not the truest shit you've ever seen in your fucking life, man? I love living in this timeline, guys. This one is good. This is good. That's okay. Guys, at least we have Charlie Kirkification. At least we have that, man.
Do you ever have to compete with Hassan for viewers?
Who the fuck is Hassan? Who? Who the fuck are you talking about, man? I don't mean to be the one to tell you this, but you sound like a fucking crazy person, man. Mehdi Hassan doesn't stream on Twitch. Okay, he runs Zateo. All right. Hassan Abi Piker. Who the fuck is that, man? Who the fuck are you? You sound insane. Hassan Abi? Some bisexual man? It's Pride Month, dude. Grow up. Like, you shouldn't be so homophobic during Pride Month, man. This is weird. It's weird, man. This is weird. Anyways, guys, so I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna raid into Hassan. That was a great segue. How can I resist, man? Come on. Come on. How can I resist? Come on. Oh, so I do a little trolling and I get canceled by the internet, huh? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, with that, everybody, I will be heading off. I have a long day ahead of me. I have to drive like 3 hours, and I still have to fucking pack, and I'm going to be out of town. No stream on Thursday. Unfortunately, I will be out of town. Maybe stream on Friday. No guarantee. I'm going to Anime Expo. Yay, Anime Expo. Ooh, haven't been in like years. Where'd you get that shirt? I just got it thrifting. Well, Wormy. You know what? You're more important than the shirt. You're so right, dude. Matthew Hassan just subscribed. Thanks for gifting Matthew Hassan a gift sub. Hi, Famancer, by the way. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Yeah, I don't know. I just got it thrifting. I thought it looked cool. I'm dreading, like, I think it's like a band or something. I'm dreading the day that someone asks me what the band name is or, like, what's my favorite song. Because if they say that, I'm just going to say, oh, I really like Toxic by Britney Spears. Why? What about you? You seem like you would really like Lord. And then just hopefully that's enough to make them leave. But I just get shirts because I think they look cool, man. You're a fake fan. I don't know, man. The shirt looks cool. I thought it looked cool. Say it's the last shirt your dad gave you before he died. That's a good one. I like that. I do like that. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna head off for today. Wormy. 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 Oh, what's up, Wormy? You want to say hi? Oh, wait, did it raid? Oops. Okay, sorry. I think the raid just went through. I'm going to head off for today. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated. Tell your homies you love them. And I will see you guys all in the next one, everybody. Bye.